show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
We back?
We back. Blackout hour is upon us.
We doing Blackout After Dark?
Blackout after dark. So let us know. No, we got this idea. There's some things that is too
racy,
too controversial to talk about on Blackout. So we're toying with this idea of Blackout After Dark. Like a Patreon type model. This is something that got to be behind the paywall though, because it can never be put on YouTube. But this is real. This is the real conversation after the real conversation
that y'all want to be having for real.
So if you're interested in the Blackout After Dark, it just can never be clipped up for social media.
No,
it can never go on YouTube.
Never in life.
But it's
Blackout After Dark, like one tour date. That'd be fire.
And it gotta be no cell phones allowed.
Yeah, oh yeah. Just like when I did that yacht party. Put them in the bag.
Throw
it in the bag.
No cell phones allowed. So let us know. Let us know about that. But in the meantime, in my effort to support Black business,
you're doing a great job
for a while. Thank you. This shirt was gifted to me by Veil Stones Apparel. So shout out to them. Jersey 97.
That's tough.
I don't know if this is the year 1997 or if it's just the number 97, but in any event, the mid 90s is something that I'm very fond upon.
Me too.
So I'm gonna say that it's from year 97. But if you're interested, you can go to Veil, VAIL Stones, Veil Stones on Instagram. And I like this, man. It's summertime type vibe, very free flowing Jersey type of situation. Definitely could rock this out. Basketball game, cookout type vibe. So shout out to Veil Stones.
Shout out to y'all. Fire. Hey, let me get a white one. Black letter. PO box. Real quick. Got you. No equity. I ain't gonna do how I do everybody else. No equity, no royalty, perpetuity. I got you.
So back.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about. So I won't waste too much time. We got an episode tomorrow with G Perico. Check that out at 6:00 Eastern Standard Time. Earn your leisure, and then get your tickets to InvestFest. We will be announcing names very shortly, and we'll be ramping up the promo run very, very shortly. So get your tickets, man. This is going to be a legendary one. Fifth one. This is the 5th year. Time flies.
Time flies, yo.
Time flies.
And the importance of quick execution, because I know some people who would have waited till the perfect time. The perfect time is when you start.
The perfect timing is when you start. That's a fact. So go to investfest.com right now. If you're in Red Panda, you got your discount code. Go to Telegram. Get your vendor booths. Get your tickets. It's going to be legendary. Ian, any announcements?
If you want to get rich from the market, go to ianinvest.com. Over 100 different prices of what to get in. Know when the market is going to fall 30 days in advance. Know when it's going to recover. A weekly call with me. We had an amazing call tonight. Love y'all. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Go to ianinvest.com and join the Red Panda Stock Club. Investing made easy by Ian.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So there's a lot to talk about.
We gonna let the beat build, or we get messy right away?
Okay. Let's let's let the beat build a little bit.
I'm with that. Yeah.
Let's let the beat build a little bit. So, we was talking off camera, but I put on Instagram yesterday a post that was talking, it kind of was related to our discussion on Market Mondays about lifestyle creep, living below your means. So there was an article published with a family that makes $500,000 a year, and they said they were scraping to get by. And I actually saw an article a few years ago that a family that was making like $1 million a year, 900,000, close to $1 million a year. And they said that they were struggling financially. they call it I forget, there's a class for like the struggling rich or like something like that. Like it's there's actually a financial term for this. So a lot of people still can't fully understand how somebody, a family could make $500,000 a year or even more and struggle. But I think it's important to have this conversation because it's good to educate people before you even maybe particularly even get to that standpoint, right? Because you got to be prepared. And the tax system really hurts employees the most.
For sure.
But it hurts high earning employees the most.
Yes.
Right? Like we're in a beneficial space because we're entrepreneurs. That's why I always say the tax code is made for entrepreneurs and investors. It's not made for employees. Because let's say if we make $500,000, right, as an entrepreneur, we have the ability to take a lot of different tax deductions, whether it's people that may work for us, as far as contractors, employees, or equipment that we may have to buy, or travel that we have to do for business, or vehicles that we have to use for business. So our income, we can save a lot of money on taxes. But if you just are a high earning employee,
making 400, 600,000 a year,
architect, engineer, somebody that works for a firm,
works in tech,
there's not too much that you can write off, right? So that's the first part. You're going to get a lot of money taken out of tax of your, because you're making enough technically where you're quote unquote like rich, but you're not like Jeff Bezos rich. So like that 30%, 35%, that's a lot of money.
Adds up.
That's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But that's the first thing that people don't fully understand. But then it's like everything increases when you make more money because your environment changes.
Yep.
Very few people have the same environment when they're making more money. That's just human nature. So when you live in a better neighborhood, what does that mean? That means that you're paying more for a mortgage or you're paying more for rent, right? When you also live in a better neighborhood, 9 times out of 10, even the extracurricular activities for your children increase.
Cost more.
There's camps that cost $6,000 for a summer, 6 weeks, $8,000. When I was in camp, my camp that I, even to this day, that I'm still involved in my community center, that cost $500 for the summer. And parents, and some people complained about that was too much.
Yeah, back in the day, 500 was a lot, yo.
Well, I'm just saying, but that's a big difference. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, even you don't think about how much a camp would cost for an upper middle class neighborhood, right? Or how much
daycare
for sure.
Some daycares are more than people's rent and mortgages.
We got to talk about these AAU teams too. Like your son plays basketball. I don't know if he's in the AAU team circuit yet, but these AAU teams cost $3,000, $3,500 per session. So that's like three months of AAU ball is like $3,500 just for that.
Yeah, it's taxing.
Then you got,
and if you get a trainer, and I was talking to my barber about this, there's no more just, I know there's some, so I won't say all, but how we grew up and it's an inner city star who's just great and people pour into him and he puts time in the gym. I'm seeing kids 6 years old now have trainers.
Everybody has a trainer. There's no, like you said, there's no go to the park, shoot 1,000 jump shots by yourself.
That's over.
Everybody has a trainer. Like you really need 2 trainers. You need the trainer for your sport, like a basketball trainer. Then you need a physical trainer to like lift weights, run,
conditioning.
So those are two different things.
Yep.
Right. That's just.
And for people who say, "Well, I don't want my kids to make it to the NCAA," you need this for them to make it in high school now.
That's a fact nowadays. That's a fact.
Yeah, like 8th grade. Shout out to my got a relative plays AAU. He was just out in Dallas somewhere. I said, "Then when you get that more?" Oh, me and the trainer been working. In addition, he worked on his game and school. I'm like, this is a full-time job, and because of social media, you don't want to get cooked, and you end up on the floor getting like you have to compete. I'm seeing some 7th and 8th graders do moves that 10 years ago most juniors in high school were not doing.
Well, a lot of them are juniors in high school. As far as that reclassified thing is
a big thing.
people are reclassifying now. So it's like two times. They'll reclassify. You'll have a 16-year-old in 8th grade.
Which is insane.
So it's so much stuff. But we didn't even talk about tutoring from the academic side, right?
Yeah.
You having a kid is expensive. Let's just say that, right? And then it's like we talked about the cost of a car. A regular car costs $100,000 now.
Insane.
Right? You got a family, you're gonna need at least 2 cars.
Yes.
Now you got 2 car payments that you're making, both over $100,000. That adds up. Groceries, all of that stuff, inflation. We know the cost of inflation. If you're trying to do the right thing, you're gonna put money into your 401k. That's gonna take money out. Then the cost of health insurance is crazy.
Yes. Let's talk about it. And then vacation or 2 per year. And then I'm like, yo, why don't you buy a tourbillon? What? Nah, I'm good. Like the inflation, almost every industry has turned into a premium or luxury market. Like I remember when I got my first bill for Xander's daycare, Xander was maybe 3. I'm like, why is this bill $2,900 a month? He's 3. But what's the choice? Cool. Either I can have him with me all day, cool, and work, or I can get 4 or 5 hours to work. You got to pick your poison. So when people are like, I don't see how a person can make $500,000. And if you live in New York or even New Jersey, Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida, Chicago,
LA.
Oh yeah, you live in them hills. That 500 coin.
So bad.
Enjoy Nobu and Malibu. But it adds up fast. And like you said, lifestyle creep as you do better because you worked your whole life. And one day, well, maybe not. We had a conversation on the dream that you get sold in America that if you just work hard, everything will pan out. Imagine you worked hard your whole life, and then 2020 comes and they print away 10 years of value worth of money in a heartbeat. For those who don't know, $100,000 isn't what I know. I got criticized for that by some who look like us and some who don't. I'm going to tell you 100, and I love him dearly. I love him, my brother. $100,000, it's not what it used to be.
It's not. And we didn't even talk about college. Because the thing is, you get punished. The more money you make in America, you get punished if you're not super rich. So Troy text says Henry, I guess that's the name of it. High earner, not rich yet. And the acronym describes individuals who earn substantial incomes, typically from 250 to 500,000, but struggle to accumulate wealth due to high expenses, debt, lifestyle inflation, and poor financial planning. See, it's a real thing. So, and it's like, okay, let's say you make $500,000 a year. We went through all these expenses, and that's just some. We can go on for an hour about different expenses. But now let's say you got to send your kid to college. You make too much money to really qualify for financial grants, financial aid, right? Yep. You want to do the right thing, and you don't want to put them in a situation where they have a tremendous amount of student debt. So which is another scam, right? So you're paying out of your pocket. It's very reasonable to think that college is going to cost $70,000 a year, all in. When you're talking about, and then they got to have a car if they're moving around. So it's like, okay, you spending $70,000 a year for your kid to go to college. That adds up because if you're making 500,000, you're really making 350 because of taxes, maybe even a little bit less when you got all the other deductions. So now you go from 350 to damn near 250 quickly just off of the college. Now, if you got multiple kids, what's the cost on that, right? So, long story short,
and then they graduate, and the job market is unstable, and then they launch this wave of AI, and then the job market isn't what it was reported to be when they went into school,
right? And the thing is, like, the word struggling is relative. It's not so much like you're going to be homeless tomorrow, but that just summed it up. You struggle to build wealth.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're making enough money to pay for all of these things and you're keeping everything afloat, but you don't have a substantial amount of money saved. You don't have an extensive real estate portfolio. You're making a lot of money technically, but you're not building wealth.
You're like not paycheck to paycheck, but you're like 2 or 3 paychecks away from being underwater.
Yes.
Even making $500,000. This is interesting. This estimate does not include college tuition, private school, or lifestyle upgrades. The average cost of raising a child in the U.S. from birth to age 18 is between $310,000 and $350,000, depending on location and inflation. The interesting part, that number in 2018 was 180.
And
The number doubled after COVID.
How much you say? 350?
310 to 350.
That's, man.
What?
That's not even
for one children. Oh, baby.
For me personally, that's not even a couple of years. That's a couple of years. Literally, that's a couple of years. And expense when you talk about all in expenses,
all money in.
That ain't from 0 to 18. So literally, by the time
baby,
I'm gonna definitely have spent over $1.5 million on my son
easily
from the time that he's born to the time that he's 18, including everything, school. I'm gonna have spent $1.5 million on him. Yep, it's a big investment.
Yep. So for all y'all who don't be strapping up and just be out here willy-nilly, you're crazy. Y'all, we gonna have some more kids. For what? When I get married, baby. But other than
that's a
y'all
fact.
Crazy, yo.
Speaking of that,
carefully.
Speaking of that, we do have a question for the audience that kind of ties into that. So somebody from the audience, shout out to all the questions that we get from the audience. Greatly appreciate it. A woman DM'd me and said that instead of paying child support, would you be comfortable to let, this is like speaking, this is speaking to women. This is speaking to women. Instead of a man paying child support, would you be comfortable to let him put money into a brokerage account for stocks for your child? So instead of a woman having a man pay child support, is it okay that $500, that whatever amount of money goes into a UTMA account? Yeah, that's going to grow over the course of time.
It would be a good plan, but I think it may depend on the circumstances and the reliability of the man if he's going to do that for long term, and the situation of the mom. Like some women can't afford that, to be honest. Some women, not all, hear me clearly, not all, but some do use the support money for household things. So I think it's a great, it goes back to the Dr. Pleasant principle. Shout to him, shout to Clark Atlanta, where you take one income, invest it, the other one you live off of. I think it should be done that way for long-term sustainability. But if we're going to be real, have a little bit of like blackout after dark preview, man, most women not going for that. No. So, but you fellas, you got to pick carefully and maybe have that conversation early on. If y'all get to that stage, is that something that she's willing to do?
I think, I think that it's a good idea in theory.
For sure.
But I don't know how practical it is, because child support to me means that you're supporting day-to-day usage that a child or the mother need to support. So having money grow, that's beneficial in 18 years, but how is that helpful right now today?
Especially if that cost is $350 from 0 to 18, and that's like,
yeah. So unless the mother does not need money at all and they're independently wealthy,
that's your boss babe.
Yeah, that's good, because then it's like you're gonna have more money, right? The money's gonna grow and the child's gonna have money, but most of the time that's not the case.
Yep.
So, but I'd be interested to see how the ladies feel. How do you feel? How do you guys feel? Put it in the comments. Would that be something that you would entertain? Is that something that you would go for, or no? Me personally, I don't think that most people would entertain that.
No, I don't think so.
That's just my
got to do both. Got to do both. I got on my little red, my little crimson, my little red. It doesn't mean I'm a conservative, but you said I was conservative on Monday. I got a question for you and Troy. What y'all want to see me spend dumb money on? Personal pod topic.
What would I like to see you spend dumb money on?
Troy text, come on.
Well, I don't.
Because this summer,
I honestly feel like if you spent dumb money, it would be outside your brand. I don't think it would be brand. I don't think it would be on brand. I don't think it would be on brand.
I don't care about brand perception. For the record. See, this the part when you get to stacking the money up and you don't go buy like a tourbillon and all that shit all the time. You can say whatever you want to, and you can change it to brand character real quick. I'll be what's our boy name? Michael B. Jordan. Both. What's the brother's name? Stacking House, whatever the name was. I'm act like Remnick and Stack and House.
Stack and Smoke.
You're stacking smoke. I'm gonna have all the smoke for you. One of these summer. Ooh.
I mean, it's always good to see a nice car. So if you come through with
Xander had a request yesterday.
What, Lamborghini?
Nah, he want the Rolls
Royce.
What's wrong with you?
I can see you in a Rolls Royce. That fits. That's fitting. That's fitting. That would be on brand.
Chariot for a king.
Yes, the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
I can see you with the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it would be if I were to see you spend money on something, I would recommend a car. Rolls Royce.
Gotcha.
Rolls Royce.
Gotcha. Large house, dog house in the backyard. Even my dog house.
I still don't know if that, like, all right, outside of being on brand.
Yeah. Which once again, I don't care about brand perception.
Got it. But would you be comfortable? Would you be comfortable in a Rolls Royce?
Shit, what?
You would?
What? There two sides. What Shorty Low say? Must be two sides. You know how hard it is to see people who I know don't have no money pop up and do shit, knowing that I know they're struggling. They can't afford 3 VOs, but they lease the hell out them cars off their homeboy baby mama credit. And I'm like, conservative man. The one thing I have learned these last 5 years, everyone likes to say assets over liabilities, but go buy all the fucking liabilities.
That's a fact. Because
y'all are Dolce Amiri.
That's a fact.
To death. Cool. Closet full of shit. And then when it come time to invest in something, or your mama got an emergency, you don't have a 30 ball to send nobody. Shout out to everybody who may be in unfortunate situations, may have to pay you, may have to pay for some law. Y'all don't have no help for the homies, but you got hella Micah Miri, Fungal. Okay. All the drip, no dollars. Okay.
That's a fact. I'm interested to see this though. I'm interested to see this because
I preach something about the paper like I'm Creflo Dollar.
Put in chat. Would you like to see Ian in that Phantom?
No, I ain't get whatever Xander say. Because before he was like, we don't even need it. But damn, we're rich. Now he
Put in chat. See, you've curated a Warren Buffett type persona of, like, you know,
I'm gonna get the lie off like he did and hide it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it would be like, you know, me, I'm a little bit more Dark Vader.
For sure.
So it's like, you know, I walked a little bit more of a darker line.
I'm gonna go back and get that Mazda the old girl stole from me that one day.
But no, so if you got a Rolls Royce, it wouldn't be a Phantom, it would be a Cullinan.
No, I really like the Cullinan, to be honest. I really like it. I mean, it's a dope car. I just personally don't like it. But yeah.
I have a Rolls Royce that I like.
What, Spectre?
I like the you know, my next car is gonna be a drop top. And there's a Rolls Royce Dawn. The Dawn, is that what it's called?
For sure.
That's the old. There's a new one. There's a Rolls Royce.
A new one.
That Rolls Royce drop top is heavy. Very rare to see that in the streets. Yeah. But okay.
Troy said the diamond choker for the. I'm gonna have some of y'all in the chokehold if I get the popping shit.
Choker.
I'm gonna look like Kendrick Super Bowl. Yo.
Assets over.
Shout out to Big Mike. Yep. Shout out to Eliante. Hey, brother.
All right, let's wake this up. Hit the like button.
Yep.
And share. Okay.
But the biggest flex of all is to be able to say what you want to say when the fuck you want to say it.
That's a fact.
I keep saying, what's the purpose of having FU money if you can't say FU? But I'm gonna do the Warren because, you know, I'm worried about Hefe. He didn't sound the best. But that's one thing I learned about branding, boy. Woo, you can either be a truth teller and get hated by the people, or play a character in private and do different in public. Even though he's giving all his wealth away upon passing. If I put all my charitable trust money into my kid's name, I'm not directly giving it to Xander, but if it's Xander's charitable trust Is that me giving all my wealth away?
Peekaboo. Peekaboo.
Peekaboo. What a noble act. No, okay. Gotcha. I'm done.
Let's talk about, okay. Let's show this clip from Paul Pierce. Shall we?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like every relationship shouldn't be based off of sex, but every relationship is based off of that.
I don't think so.
100%. You can't tell me nothing different. This is what I feel, and that's why I'll never be in another relationship, because it's always based off of that.
So you're not going to be in another relationship?
Hell no. For what? Because it's going to be based off the sex. Once that wear down, you're going to go find somebody else that's better. Yeah. But it ain't going to be based off of... This is the thing. And listen carefully. Listen carefully.
I'm listening.
Relationships... Let me tell you what marriage is all about. Or let me tell you what marriage is. And who's marriage for. Marriage is for old people and poor people.
Okay. So let's get into that. Why?
Because when you broke, our parents, like my moms and all them, they married on a merit of like, okay, we're going to put our incomes together, have all these kids. And then when our kids, we're going to have 5, 10 kids back in the 60s, all them, they're going to have 5, 10 kids so they can work and bring income.
Yeah.
So you poor. So you married for that. And now when you get old, somebody that to be by your side to take care of you. Right now, my mom got married. My mom never been married in my lifetime. She got married when she was 70.
Wow.
It was perfect. She had somebody by her side the whole way through.
So do you...
I really believe that. Like, that's what, like, outside of that, it's no advantage to a man. Why is marriage advantage? What advantage? What does it do for a man when things go south? Like, we gonna have to give up half our this, pay child support, but it's only advantageous to a woman. Like, it's real talk.
But what if you meet a woman and you're like, wow, she's a gem, she's valuable, she's everything, and I want to lock her down in marriage?
I don't want to lock no woman down. We could be cool.
So you're telling me right now today,
you
on January 4th, you do not want to be in a relationship ever again?
I don't think it's realistic long term until I turn 70.
I am done. I've never been more done with a mother.
I'm 47 right now. Until I turn 70, that's the only realistic part I see is because we both old. We ain't out in the streets. We at home watching TV. You go take me to the hospital. I'm going to take you to the hospital. That's it. But right now, I'm too cracking right now. So what I need to
Is it because you feel like you
what I need to do all
Okay. Shout out to Paul Pierce. So his thing is that marriage is for broke people and people over 70. Never heard that one before.
Yeah.
The broke I might have heard before, but the 70 I've never heard the age thing before. Never heard that before.
Well, what are your thoughts on this?
It's
a hot take, bro. Even as a man, and I like salacious, real spicy. I'll say, oh shit. Paul trying to get in trouble, or let whoever he know dating know he's not getting married.
The richest people in the world are married.
Yes,
except for the richest person, Elon Musk. Outside of him,
Putin, the richest person,
allegedly. But outside of him, let's say 90% of the richest people in the world are married. That's just the fact. That's not my opinion. That's just the fact. Yeah. So I don't think that marriage is just for broke people, because if that was the case, then the richest people in the world wouldn't be married. One. That's one.
Family is everything. Yep.
2, I can understand his logic on a certain level. Because he's looking at it from a standpoint, I'm assuming, where he's like, like when Tiger Woods got caught cheating years ago, I'll never forget, there was a lot of people like, yo, how could he cheat on a woman like so beautiful? It was, and then the one guy was like, well, you don't have no options.
And that's Tiger Woods.
It's easier for you to say this, because you're not exposed to women that's throwing themselves at you every single day of the week. So from his standpoint of, if you're solely getting married based off of options, well, okay, that would make sense, because if you don't have a lot of money and you're not, a celebrity and you're staying in your community that well, the average person, you're not exposed to a lot of women and it's going to cost you too much money. So it makes sense financially and just from your option standpoint to find one woman, right?
Yeah.
And marry and have a family and live with that person. And that makes sense. But if you have millions of dollars and you're traveling around the world and you could have 10 different women that you talk to at one particular time.
Tiger was knocking them down, yo.
Then I guess from his standpoint, it's like, what is the point of getting married?
Yeah.
That would be if you're looking at it from a solely standpoint of that, right? I don't think, but if you're looking at it from the intangible aspect of having a partner, of having somebody that you actually can connect to, if you believe in a soulmate, if you believe in, having a family structure, then the options that you have, that's not a reason not to actually get married. But you can also get married and that might not work out either. So what's your thoughts on this?
Super hot take. I like Paul Pierce. I know when somebody weaponizing their platform. So Paul, great job. I don't know. Like, I don't agree with it's for broke in 70, because like you said, the richest people on earth. And I just think it comes down to value. What I did hear, which we don't talk about enough in these shows and broadcasts and podcasts, I can hear some pain in there though, of things that may have not went well. And because was a superstar athlete, a lot of times there's no grace for athletes who don't tell the story of the heartbreak they went through with the person they really wanted. I commend Steven Jackson for telling his story of the girl wouldn't sign a prenup and up until the wedding day. But it's a lot of stories that I hear. I wanted this person. I wanted to be married, but some bullshit happened. And now you push me into the Darth Vader type Kevin Samuels mode. I can see the pain there. Even for him to say, yo, my mom got married at 70. I'm assuming something happened to stop her from wanting to have that. So some of it, trauma is induced, but it's also tough too when like you're lit, and you have the world at your feet. If you know that you're not going to do the right thing, it won't be best to get married if you can't keep that commitment. But I think if you can make it work, marriage and relationship is a beautiful thing because family means more than anything.
Did you hear the story about Floyd when he introduced Holcomb to his fiance?
Shout out to Floyd. Yeah.
You heard that story?
Yeah. And it's tears.
So for people that don't know,
it's another example of, go ahead.
Corey Holcomb told the story about Floyd Mayweather, and when he met him, he introduced him to his fiance. He said, "This is my fiance." Then he's with another girl, and he said, "This is my girlfriend."
Mm-hmm.
So his thing is, when you have enough money, you can do whatever you want to do.
Or once again, fellas, I keep telling y'all, if y'all just be honest, let them pick. A lot of times, if you honest, they'll stay.
Okay. So we don't agree with Paul Pierce saying that marriage is for broke people and people over 70.
No. And I rock with Paul, but I don't like that.
Respectfully disagree, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this. I saw something on Instagram where they was like, what's up with men thinking that they're the prize nowadays? What is wrong with men? Like, like you got to spoil who you with. You got to make sure that you're giving gifts and flowers and all this stuff. Are men the prize? Are men the prize?
What do you think, Rashad?
Skirt. I'm a skirt on the corner. Whoa, whoa. Shout out to Jello. Shout out to Jello. Shout out to Jello. I'll tell you this.
The real prize. I got you. Screen.
I'll tell you this.
Flex. Go to the corner. I got you. It's coming your way.
Half of this conversation has to be reserved for Blackout
After Dark. Thank you.
But the other half can be talked about, right? So let's just say somebody like Ian Dunlap, right? Mm-hmm. Who is independently wealthy entrepreneur.
Allegedly.
Who's an independently wealthy entrepreneur in his early 40s, has a lot to offer, right? Let's say you're dating somebody, and this is just hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. Let's
say you're dating somebody, right? And let's say that they are in their early 30s, right? And they have a regular job and they make $85,000 a year, just regular. They're not on poverty, but they're just a regular person. You have the ability to change somebody's life.
Allegedly.
If you want to.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to, right?
Yeah.
Like you have the ability to change somebody's life. Like, of course, there's a lot that goes into that as far as thoughts, but like if you wanted to now, you can make a woman a housewife, right? You could set somebody up where they don't have to work again. You have the ability to retire somebody for the rest of their life right now. Well, that's life changing.
For sure.
So to me, in that scenario, you would be the prize. Because I don't know, like, how can a woman change your life? And like who you are right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman can add comfort. A woman can add some level of stability as far as, peace, and that's life changing.
Peace and love. Yep.
Dramatically changing your life, probably not. Probably not.
You can argue that the peace and love will be the dramatic change. Okay. When I had the conversation with Charlemagne, I won't tell, but this part he did say, I could say. He was like, my life dramatically changed when I just focused singularly on one, and then the multiple from that in every area of life went up tenfold.
But the thing about Charlemagne is that he's been married for a long time.
True.
So he did that on the come up. This is a different situation, but I'm just saying it's not a black and white. I'm just saying as far as where we are right now, we've already gotten to a certain point. We haven't arrived because there's still places to go. But we're not trying to figure it out at the bottom level. Like you're not we're not building with somebody at the bottom level.
No.
And you're helping us build to a point. We're already at a certain point. Yeah, you can help elevate even more for sure. But the groundwork has already been laid. The foundation of the house is already set.
At least 5 stories for sure.
So to me, in this scenario, a man would be the prize in that scenario. Now there could be other scenarios where the woman is the prize, or maybe you both are the prize. But I think just to discard the thing where it's like, why do men think they're the prizes? Well, because some are, to be honest with you.
Big facts. Wake it up. And man is a prize, it doesn't mean it's taken away from the woman, right? Because if you're a prize, you should attract and catch a prize too, so y'all can have Christmas every day together, right? But to everybody who's like, yo, that's sassy, that's just like, you can't deconstruct value where the value is there, especially if EQ is there with IQ and net worth and ambition, and you have been self-actualized. It's like, but also, fellas, important lesson: you have to go to the spaces where you appreciate it. You don't even have to have an argument.
But also, it's important for some level of some women to understand that it's okay to understand when you meet a man that's a prize. You got to treat him like he's a prize.
As such.
You can't meet a man that's a prize and treat him like
a journeyman.
You're making a mistake. You're doing yourself a disservice.
The champ is here.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest. Like,
I'm gonna get in trouble with you. Yes, I agree 1,000%.
This is just me thinking as a rational person. If I was an alien and I just came down to Earth and I don't know anything about anything, toxic wars, anything like that, if I'm just looking at this playing field from a rational thinking standpoint, and I'm looking like that, well, he is a prize because he is a good person. He is, thoughtful. He's going to be a good father. He has the potential to be a family man. Yep. He's independently wealthy. He can retire you right now. In my brain, I'm thinking that this person is a prize. Yep. You as a woman, you're a prize too, because you can offer him things as well. But at this point in life, his value add is higher than your value add. So I would think that would be the prize.
For sure.
Am I wrong in saying this? If I'm wrong, if I'm bugging, let me know. If I'm bugging,
yeah, I'll put in the comments. Is he tripping?
If I'm tripping, let me know.
But also, too, men, some of y'all do this too much though on a high value prize thing. Like if you have to keep saying it, you may not be
right. Exactly, because you, and that's the problem. I'm not gonna tell you I'm the prize. Treat me like this. Like
you should see it.
That's a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
But how you treat me is going to determine your placement.
For sure. That's the game. right? Whoever acts the best wins the game.
Exactly.
Squid Game.
It's not that complicated. If I'm an intelligent person and I have self-awareness and I'm aware of who I am, I know, okay, I've worked my whole life to reach a certain point. The person that's treating me this way is going to get rewarded.
Yeah.
As opposed to the person that's treating me like you just graduated from community college and you want me to treat you like the Queen of Zamunda. Like, we just got to be fair about this, because if the tables were turned,
oh, it wouldn't be no question.
If the tables were turned, if we're talking about a woman that was the CEO of bank X, Y, and Z and has 2 master's degrees and is gorgeous and all of this, and she met a dude that was just getting himself together, right? She would want him to understand her value.
Yep.
And he would have to sacrifice, do things because of
be a house dad.
Right. Respectfully. Respectfully.
Yep.
So I think it's a dangerous narrative that we're pushing to young ladies and women in general when we say like, oh, men are not the prize. Why are you treating men like the prize? I think we're both the prize. Men and women are the prize, but don't devalue the value of a man and say that he's not the prize, because what you could actually be potentially fumbling a prize, and it's not gonna be like easy to get that back again.
For sure. There are some people that are once in a lifetime people. Even some people will be like, yo, why do you date who you date? It's like trust and treatment. If you had a sliver of a chance with me for half a day, boy, you should have treated that shit like it was 72,000 Bitcoin. And you didn't. So now you get to see me pop out in bail and go on vacation. Whatever I feel like, ta-ta. Sorry. Peekaboo. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So, but fellas, don't go beating your chest saying on the prize. If they don't treat you like a prize, time to find you another gift shop.
And every man is not the prize. We got like fellas.
There's some bums out here.
Work to be the prize.
Yes.
Or humble yourself to know that you're not the prize. That we got to just be honest. Just because you're a man doesn't make you the prize.
For sure.
So if you have done nothing with yourself and you're playing PlayStation all day, no, you're not a prize.
Yep. Turn them sliders up in real life. Discipline. It's tough. It's tough. Even going back to the financial discipline part, they'll see that part too.
Also, a prize can go beyond money too. If somebody is the best father in the world, if somebody's a community activist, if somebody's just a good person, that's a prize.
That's a prize. Yeah. Just because you have money don't make you a prize.
Right, exactly. So I don't want, because I know that's going to come like, it's not. I'm not saying. I'm just saying like that's certain things that are important to people, though. Let's just be honest. So I don't agree with the idea that men are not prizes. I think that that's harmful, and that goes back to the Western society of devaluing family structure,
for sure,
and devaluing it. And you don't see that in other parts of the world,
which is also a sign of a decaying or dying world leadership spot as well. Because the other, like, you don't see that decay in China or India. They're more family centric as well. And there's a role of everybody inside the family, and it's respected. Yeah. So if a lady watching tonight and she's interested, because jersey fire, glasses fire, and she wants you to buy her a Birkin bag, what she got to do to get a Birkin off you? Are Birkins or bags buying a bad investment?
Let's skip this one. I'll defer to you. I'll defer to you on this one. It's outside my level of expertise, so I don't like to talk about things that I'm not fully educated on.
Shout out to Matt Hoffa. This is my expert opinion. I don't know. This is not my, You want to say before blackout after dark?
I'm not fully educated on this topic, so I would reserve my comments.
Got you.
But are you educated on this topic?
No, I ain't bought no Birkin or no Chanel. What the hell? What the hell?
You never brought a Chanel bag?
What?
So you're not buying Chanel bags?
My boy, if my mama ain't asked me for a Chanel bag, I've been trying to send my mama all kind of shit all the time. Even my dad be like, if you offering me this, I'm going to just take it, or you giving me the money for it, I'm going to figure out what to do with the money. My mom be like, baby, I don't need that. Take this shit, yo. I owe you.
So you're not interested in buying Chanel bags?
No, I think certain gifts, just maybe the era that we grew up, I think certain gifts were reserved for fiancés and wives.
Fiance and wife play.
Yeah. So will I like we have a time? Yes. Will I invest in you, buy you some fly shit? Yeah. But I think certain Birkin, Chanel, certain Tiffany, Harry Winston, some of that shit should be reserved for the wife. But if I haven't went and got me a bust down, nothing, I don't care about the resale value. I'm good. I think it's crazy to go spend $25,000 or $30,000 like on something, and then I didn't do that for me. Like you, especially knowing what I can do with money. Oh no, I take 25 and turn 25 to 290.
Okay,
no.
So you're not buying anybody a Birkin. Okay.
Everybody in our community, can y'all answer me? And I've been saying this since day one. Why is the goal to get money to then go give them to white brands that don't care about you?
So what's the most what's your limit of spending on gifts?
I don't know. I never thought about it. I'm sure it's a percentage of income, but my percentage of income is high though. You know, shit. If she take off 60 days, I do another war tour, personal, real quick.
So you're giving, because it is a love language. Gifts are a love language to some. So your giving is more so experiential.
Yeah.
Not necessarily items.
Now, how about some items too? I just haven't thought what the
max.
Yeah, what the max is, because that's all dependent upon how well things or how well we're getting along. We're getting along well, so I don't have an issue. But like in my head, I have a cap for a lot of stuff. That's why even when I like go see certain like watches, I'm like, I could, but doesn't mean I should. That's a great lesson, please. The financial literacy topic. Hey, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's how a lot of people get in trouble. And also, I think there's a correlation with how much you spend versus how much they actually like you. A lot of y'all be spending and buying all kind of crazy shit first 2 months in and flying them private and all this other shit. And she don't fuck with you like that. If a woman really like you, boy, y'all can just sit and watch whatever little show she want to watch and have some little take home and go get some carbone, bring it home and eat noodles together, eat pasta together. A lot of y'all be over indexing on the gifts and shit because you know you can't get her off of you.
That would be Atlanta.
Allegedly. I'm not an expert in what happened in Atlanta affairs.
That would be Atlanta. Shout out to the A. I got a lot of friends
here in Houston too.
I got a lot of friends in the A, but y'all know y'all pioneered the tricking. If we want to be honest.
Hot topic. Atlanta or New York dudes trick more.
Oh, what? Had to zoom in on that one. That's legendary.
I mean, who trick more, New York or Atlanta?
It's a good question. I don't think it's comparable because New York was
never, of tricking in New York.
New York was never known for tricking.
Silent investors.
I heard Jim Jones speak about this before. That's not a New York thing. Are there tricks in New York
amongst a certain ilk? But y'all creeping up, and it's a lot of New Jersey New Yorkers moved to Atlanta with the tricking. If we gonna talk, a lot of them, and then y'all made Jonesboro have to compete.
New York traditionally, a traditional New York culture has not been tricking. That's not traditionally. That wasn't how we was growing up. I don't think that's part of New York culture. It's tricking. Okay. It might have, I don't know what people do now.
Yeah.
So it might be part of it now, but I feel like Atlanta, and not like native Atlanta's, because shout out to all my like real Atlanta people, but Atlanta's full of a lot of people that move to Atlanta from other places. I know for a fact that's part of that culture in Atlanta. Yeah. Like you lead with what's your Cash App?
It's crazy.
I know for 100% fact. And Miami also.
Oh, Miami trick capital, yo. One of.
Yeah.
For sure.
for shizzle.
Yeah.
Shizzle.
Some of them be trying it too. I'm like, God, can you send? I ain't sending you nothing. What? When I was single roaming these streets, I'm like, I'm good on Atlanta. Nope.
We never did the top 5 cities of the baddies.
Blackout After Dark.
Blackout After Dark.
Blackout After Dark.
So
exclusive.
Let's talk about some politics, shall we? So Trump, we talked about this briefly on Market Mondays, but Trump.
Why didn't you talk about Kamala this much when she was running Rashad? That's the comments been saying.
She was at the Met Gala. She had the black and white.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, some of y'all at the Met Gala. Yeah, you look. Andre 3000, look, legend.
Mm-hmm. Y'all going too far in the name of fashion.
He came with white brand. He came with the piano on his back. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. I saw Shabuzi.
What do you have
on? He had a grill to match his some studs on his décolleté or whatever.
Some of y'all turned this Met Gala into Halloween. It's a costume party at this point.
For sure. For sure. I'm surprised that you went at the Met.
Me too. I'm surprised also.
And a win for what we did.
I'm surprised also. That makes
somebody.
That makes 2 of us.
Timothy Chalamet didn't go. Send an invite.
Troy just put it in chat. Look, that's what he He wore. That's what he wore. It's a piano. I think it was a real piano too, because it had legs. It was wood, so it had to be at least 80 pounds.
Damn.
He wore a piano.
Is that symbolism for the group he's been carrying the last 20 years?
Well, some people say that's symbolism for black people that's carrying music for the last 80 years. I don't know. Who knows?
That's tough.
But it was no. He wasn't carrying the group for 20 years. We can't do that.
No, it's just a joke. Big boy, I want no smoke.
I saw you. Big boy, legendary.
Yeah, for real. And I need y'all to stop disrespecting Big Boy in that conversation of greatest of all time too. Because when Equipment first came out, the way he was sliding, all this Andre here and Big Boy there, that was not the topic. Stop it.
Big Boy, he's legendary to me.
Underrated as hell.
I can relate to Big Boy more than Andre 3000 as far as relatability.
I understand.
Yeah. But shout out to Andre 3000.
Shout out to Andre.
All right. Politics. Donald Trump tweeted a picture of him
that was his Met Gala outfit. I got it.
He should have wore it to the Met. So it's crazy because all right, so he put out a picture of him dressed up as the Pope, and of course it goes viral. People is feeling a certain way about it, whatever. So they asked him about it, and he's like, "Look, somebody made a picture. I have nothing to do with it." It's crazy how you just denied. The picture was posted on the White House Instagram page, Donald Trump's official Instagram page, and the POTUS Instagram page. The POTUS Instagram page collabed with the White House Instagram page. Like the fact of the part that kills me is when you just act like you have no idea. Like you do shit and then you just act like I don't know. Like that to me is frustrating.
Two things can be true. Somebody could have sent it. I don't think he went in Chat GPT 04.
No, I don't think he made it himself. Of course not. But the way he made it sound is like, yo, somebody made it and they just put it on the internet. Like, what you want me to do? Bro, it's on your official, it's on all 3 of your official pages. It's if somebody makes a mock-up of you, right? In a Pope thing. Let's say the same thing, right? It goes on the internet. You can say, like, yo, I don't have nothing to do with that. Now, if it's on Ian Dunlap's official page, right? And in Red Panda's website, and you still can say, I don't know.
I'm gonna do the 2015. I got hacked.
I don't run my Instagram page. Like, what are we talking about?
They say we pick one side to bash all the time politically. So, do I like it? No. But do I think people may have? Why was everyone so offended?
It's disrespectful. I'm not Catholic. But I can understand that, there's 30 million Catholics.
Yeah.
In America, I think. There's like 20 million Catholics in America. That's their leader.
Yeah.
Right? So why would you do that? Like, why would you mock somebody's religion,
No decorum.
right after they died, it's just
That's definitely in poor taste.
it's in poor taste.
Yeah, when you're not leading the country well. And I don't want to hear about them little fake Doge stats y'all keep throwing at. If the Doge stat recovered that much money, Elon would not be going back to HQ. He wouldn't be going back to Vegas and coming to Austin. Allegedly.
Was Doge a failure?
I wouldn't say it was a failure, but it wasn't a success. Well, it wasn't a success. It was a good idea that was implemented poorly. Bad software update. So,
okay,
yeah, but Doge is here to stay. That's the interesting part. There's a question for you though. Would you pursue a relationship with someone that follows your ex on social media, and the ex follows back? Is it a coincidence, or is the ex plotting? Should I block it out of my mind, or because we all have an ex?
Good question. Once again, from the audience. That would not be a determining factor for me, because a lot of people follow each other on social media. If that was the case, you really can't talk to a variety of different people, because it's like the first thing I do is look at mutual friends. Here's a hack for you guys.
Gotcha.
The first thing I want to do is look at mutual friends. Who do we have in common? Because you can kind of draw a lot of conclusions based off of mutual friends. But sometimes somebody follows somebody, and that doesn't mean that they're friends. I follow a lot of people that I've never met in person.
Me too.
Or I might have met in passing, or you follow people for different reasons. So just because I'm following somebody, that doesn't mean that they're like my best friend in life.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, that would not be discouraging to me if they were following somebody that I used to talk to. If a new person that I talk to follows somebody that I used to talk to, I wouldn't necessarily think too much of it. You might want to keep an eye out to see how close they are, because now you can see, okay, are they liking each other's photos? Are they commenting?
Are they commenting?
Now that means that they have a stronger relationship. That still might not necessarily mean anything these days.
True.
But at least
a lot of them girls be fake girlfriends and fake social media friends, and behind the scenes it'd be a whole another thing.
That's a fact. So I would just, it wouldn't be a determining factor for you. Would it be for you?
That's a non-factor. Most women don't even like each other. Like if they're really friends, you would know.
Let me ask you this. This is a personal question that I had to think about. But like, let's say if you're like a self-reliant person, right? Whereas you don't like asking for anybody. Like I don't like asking for help.
Yeah. Well, why is that though? Is that trauma? Or you don't want to be let down?
I think it could be a combination of a variety of different things. I think it might be some level of trauma. I think it might be I don't want to be let down, but I also don't want anybody holding anything over my head. And I also have always been very like self-sufficient. So I don't like the idea of having to rely on somebody for help. It doesn't feel good to me.
Okay.
That could be toxic. I'm not sure, but that's just, I don't like to have to ask for help. Everybody needs help for sure. And if I do need help, then I will seek help. But it's not, I'll do everything possible before I ask for help.
Before you reach out. Yeah, same.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll exhaust everything that I have. And then it's like, fuck, I got no other option. I got to ask for help. So if you're that type of person and you meet a person who is offering you things, how do you accept it? For instance, example, let's say that you're a person like me, right? And you don't like asking for people. You do stuff for other people all the time. You're a self-reliant person. You pride yourself on being self-reliant, but you're in a relationship, and now you realize that acts of service are important to you.
Yeah,
but you don't like to ask for that. But like, let's say somebody is asking you, like, "Hey, I'm about to go to the store. You want anything, or you want me to order you something? You want breakfast?" And it's surprising because you're not really used to that. But you're used to saying, "Nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it."
I'm good. Yeah, no matter what.
Default. That's your default. Your default is, "Nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it." But then you realize, like, damn, I do want to accept this, right? So how do you let your guards down to actually
question.
accept offerings as opposed to just using your default, which is "No, I'm good"?
It's my favorite phrase. Get me whatever you think I should have. That'll tell you everything.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Hey, I'm going to Starbucks. Baby, you want something? Give me whatever you think I should have. That way it's on them. I do this all the time.
Give me whatever you think I should have. What does that even mean?
Oh, my little baby
What does
hates
that
this.
mean?
Oh, she hates just tell me what you want. No, give me whatever you think I should have.
But what does that mean? What does that mean?
I want to see, based on your action, your thoughtfulness, what you put together that you think that I need. Now it's off of me. I can tell you, go bring me a mocha chai latte. That's cool. What do you think I need? If I'm giving to you, okay, great. You know, I may be hungry. I may be parched. May need something to drink. Cool. What thoughtful thing will you do? So, and then, you know, she'll send what I need, and that be that. Like, it's a vulnerability issue. But I've learned in the past maybe like 6-7 years, being vulnerable is a superpower. Because a lot of times we avoid asking to help. I'll speak for me because I didn't want to be let down. Because if I'm let down, then I realize then I have you around and you're not going to do for me close to what I'm going to do for you. Therefore, I need to wrap this up. Now I want to get right to it. It's the equal exchange. That's why I don't have as many people around, because it was too many people who were there for moments and not the work. Like, I get why Kobe was mad at Smush Parker. Like, shout to Smush. But if you're not in here before practice and working out early, studying film, why are you want me to pass you the ball in the fourth quarter when I've been busting my ass? No, I'm a shoot. I don't care if it's 3 people on me. So I tell people now, because even people be like, what do you get the person in the world that has everything? More of everything. But you decide what you think I should have. Even people be like, yo, man, same thing, the conservative thing. Yo, you conservative. I know you really don't want anything too luxurious. No, go buy me a fucking Ferrari. I'll take it. Because I know what me being around somebody in terms of a multiple will do. So if you go to Wegmans or Pathmart or Starbucks, my thing is, hey, get me what you think I should. And then from there, I determine if I should keep giving in the same fashion.
So to women that are saying you are overcomplicating this.
It's not overcomplicated for my woman.
Okay. For your situation, I respect that.
Yeah.
But we're also giving advice to other people though.
No, it's not overcomplicated. Be thoughtful. Especially if you're prized and you have a certain ilk and certain EQ, IQ, net worth. No, figure out how to make my life better. These are part of, just like how a man has to come to a table, knowing how to provide peace, provide structure. You don't want to go 50-50. You want us to just handle shit. You want us to listen when you have a bad day. And certain times you got to go fix and kill. The same way, I need you to come in with a little peace package. It ain't overcomplicated. Because some women naturally give, it's fellas, it's a great gym. Watch the little things. Will she come? Will she just make up the bed? Will she just?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, you speaking. That's a fact. You bring valid points up for sure.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's a thing of even getting to that point of even saying, "Get me what you like." You know what I'm saying, like, for me personally, and that's something I just had to fully understand about myself, was that I have to be able to accept a good deed.
Yes.
And good offering. That's why I could never be a pimp. I can't understand that. I can't understand taking money from a woman or taking money from anybody. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't. For me, I'd rather hustle. Like, I don't even feel comfortable when people tell me they're going to give me something, taking it. Like, you know what I mean? As far as that, like, you know what I mean? So I damn sure don't have enough gumption to take something from somebody or ask them, yo, I need this from you. Like, I couldn't understand that. I could never understand that how that works in somebody's brain. But I think there is some level of work through that you have to do, because I do think it comes down to actually being vulnerable enough to
you have to be vulnerable
to accept. You got to be vulnerable enough to accept the gift. Nobody ever talks about that. Like, it's one thing. It's one thing to ask for something. It's another thing to accept it. Like if somebody's offering you something, because my thing is, well, this brings another point. At what point do you have to ask for something? Because I don't feel comfortable asking for something. So I feel like
you shouldn't have to. Maybe once.
If I'm with somebody, they should. I don't want to have to ask you for things.
Yeah,
you should do it because
you want to
person and you want to, and you see that this is going to actually be beneficial.
That's where the thoughtfulness and the care comes in. Because if you're caring about a person, you will see they may need something, even if it's the conversation of, hey, you need to be more vulnerable. That conversation has been brought to me. Hey, can you approach this way? Cool. But if you have to constantly tell a person something multiple times, they don't want to do it. Like a lot of times we make relationships, whether personal, romantic, business, too complicated. If a person isn't giving you the treatment that you want, it's because they don't want to. You also need to be the person who can go get that treatment from somebody else.
But what do you say to people that say, I'm not a mind reader? How am I supposed to know you want these things? You have to communicate. Communication. It's up to you to communicate what I should be doing.
They're absolutely right. And I'm going to communicate it one time. After that, it's a wrap.
So you should communicate and tell you, this is what I want. This is what I need.
Yep. If it comes up, because if they don't know what to do, it's unfair to penalize them for not knowing. But that gets used as an excuse. Well, I didn't know. Well, you know how you want to be treated, so treat me how you want to be treated. The fuck are we talking about?
That's a fact.
Yo, and even all the fake helping. Yo, what can I do to help? If you haven't helped the last 2 or 3 years, quit asking. I've never had to ask Edwin or Ty or P. Yo, Ian, what you need help with? They just do the help. I got an idea, even if it's just a repost. Edwin, small shit. Like, it's a bunch of people I've seen, and this is where I know the contempt and disdain comes in, when they no longer want to associate or be known as, well, Ian's the big homie. That's when the disdain come in. That's why I'm like, okay, great. I'll keep all my information. Notice, like, once I quit talking about futures trade, I haven't seen one person about how to trade 300 contracts as an individual retail trader. Why? Because I ain't talked about it. Cool. If y'all want to play the gatekeeper, I'll play gatekeeper too. So if I have to tell you over and over again, be solid, be supportive, don't be a snake, don't steal, cool.
But sometimes you can get spoiled with a good thing. So for instance, for me, right?
For sure.
Like, my mom is an example that I use as far as a woman, because obviously that's my mother. So she's so overly aggressively spoiled. Even to this day, like, I never had to ask her to do anything overly and above, like, just buy me groceries, come clean, dude, like, to the point where I just be like, yo, it's too much. Like, it's too much.
Is it? Is too much love too much?
No, but it's sometimes it can potentially be a little bit, but what I'm saying is that if that's the example that I'm using, then I'm thinking that everybody should be like her. That's the bar. But that might not be a realistic expectation to have.
Realism is what we choose to be. That's another thing I'm believing. When people like, this ain't realistic, they sending people to fake outer space and touching the outer plane and coming back down. If Gail King can go up there with Katy Perry and float around and get a fucking Mojo Magic Insta camera and take some photos, the little things that I ask for are not unrealistic. And I'm gonna be real, and it's hard, like, to have a fan base who, like, I've had people come to me like, y'all kill somebody for you, and then to not weaponize it. Talk about financial discipline. And then I have to come home and say, well, this is too much. What? No, ain't nothing unrealistic. If it's within the laws of physics, it's possible. Let's get it done. I don't want to hear that shit.
Get it done.
Get it done. Because that's what love is. I think doing the things that a person doesn't know that they need and helping them being better while building and growing together. A lot of people, a core lesson I've learned, if a person does not pour into you, they don't love you. They just love what they can get from you. It's easy to want to go out, want to have a vibe. And a lot of times, like, when y'all be trying to play the finesse game, that shit to us is the lower tier of what's possible. You just want dinner and a bag. That's stupid. I think it's stupid for a person to want a $25,000 bag and not have $20,000 in it or in their account. For what? To put it on Instagram? Okay, hustling backwards.
Hustling backwards.
Yeah.
Interesting conversation. Put in chat. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
But we're not married.
Red flag alert. What do you think about Florida banning fluoride in tap water?
About time. Shout out to Florida. Y'all got enough crazy people as is. So any chemicals you can take out your water will help a ton. But I think any of us, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists have known for a long time that in other countries, fluoride is, or the water is not fluoridated in most major. And I when I was in college, I interned at a water plant. So it's interesting to see the chemicals that went into the water to help. I get it. But the reports of fluoride not being well for the body and calcifying certain things that's why I say, like, every conspiracy we grew up in the 90s and 2000s have revealed to be true. Now it's the other ones about, that are coming out now. I don't know if you saw Wuhan said that COVID originated in America, which is fascinating. So I think more states need to do this. And one thing I do like about Robert F. Kennedy is him trying to clean up some of the things in the FDA which are allowed, which are not beneficial for our health in the United States of America. Do you think more states should do it?
You got to do a little bit more research on this. A lot of dentists are against this because they said that fluoride actually fortitudes your teeth and is beneficial for you. But then, like you said, there's a lot of people that said that it's bad for you as well. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm one of these people that say less chemicals, the better. Better. But there was water before chemicals. There was water before chemicals. So you got to have some trust God on a certain level. Like now, medicine is made to help. And I do believe, I'm not like one of these people. I do believe in medicine and advancements in technology and stuff like that. But I feel like when we play around with God's creations too much, it could potentially
backfires.
It could potentially be harmful.
And there's also runoff in the water, and in certain cases, medications has been in the water supply because of over medication. That's a bunch of things that need to be cleaned up with water supply. So, but I think this is a good first step.
And they say that you're not supposed to drink plastic bottles either.
Nope. Because of microplastics.
Break down just glass bottles.
Yeah, and shrinks your manhood.
Plastic bottles?
Yeah, a certain amount of microplastics after a while.
Oh, wow. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. So that's maybe another reason why some of y'all don't have balls in your relationship and don't put y'all foot down. Drinking them hot as the signings of the trunk.
Saratoga.
For real, for the win. Hey.
Saratoga for the win.
I remember when that was a theory, like, no, it can't leak. Yes, it can. Which is a derivative of oil. Like, it's interesting how just Rockefeller running Standard Oil and that being broken up into all those companies still have permeating effects in our society today, education system and the plastic industry.
What do you think about the Kohl CEO?
I think so we just need to get back to old-fashioned ass whoopings. Like, if you are funneling money from a job to your side chick.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it. So allegedly he was fired after a few months in the job after it was discovered he signed off on a multi-million-dollar contract for his side chick's business.
I'm not perfect.
Is that illegal? Is that illegal? My thing is this. If okay, let's look at this. Let me play God's advocate here. Let's say hypothetically a subcontractor was needed for a job, right?
Yeah.
It's human nature to hire somebody that you have a relationship with. That's what nepotism is. So if it's needed and you hired your side chick
to create the baby t-shirt line,
is that terrible?
If there is a morality clause in your leadership contract, it is. And that's why I think that they probably got him.
Because side chicks have to eat also.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
Chicken nugget, French fry, milkshake. No, they don't. That's why y'all listen. If y'all go spend all that money with Mike and Mary and Off-White after the whites bought it, I already know how y'all move in private. I don't even have to say nothing. I don't know why they gotta eat.
No, I'm just saying, if they have a legitimate business, you would not want a side chick to eat.
I'm assuming this guy was married. So there's the financial infidelity part.
Well, his wife is already taken care of because he's the CEO of a company.
Allegedly. Who knows how many other millions he's given. And I'll say this too. Like a lot of y'all who be moving with this, if you just move with honor, they'll let you get your shit off. Secondly, if you got to pay your side chick millions to fuck with you, she don't fuck with you.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to pay your side chick millions of dollars. That's ridiculous. But I'm just saying, if she's qualified to do the job.
If she was qualified, he wouldn't have got. Now, if he got a return on it and he gave her $3 million, they got her $15 million back because they had a bet, they wouldn't have cared. I'm assuming when the board found this out, they went and looked at that P&L statement because the more the harm you do, the higher return you got to give. Not the best investment. Now you at home full time with the kids and the wife that you don't want to be with. Mistake.
Gotta be more careful than that.
For sure.
Unfortunate situation. Now nobody's happy.
On a company
now your wife is about to divorce you. Your side chick broke up with you, and you're fired. It's a lose-lose across the board.
Man, she running your name through hell in that group chat and with our family. Oh my God.
The side chick or the wife?
The wife.
Oh,
the side chick don't care. She can find somebody at Nike do the same thing with. Or Under Armour. Real quick. Hey, but I'll say it. This the other part of the simping. If y'all can find the simp and do this with, I'm with sprinkle. I'm with it. If somebody's stupid enough to, like, if I do a Red Panda stock club sale, right, and then I get all the money to somebody I'm now dating, stone me. Some of y'all just be moving crazy, yo.
But if you're doing Red Panda and you need a new website, that's what I'm thinking, right? If you need a website for your business, that's how I'm looking at this. I'm not looking at this like he's necessarily like stealing money. I'm looking at like if it was a service that was needed from the company, you're going to go with somebody that you have a relationship with.
For sure, but I'm assuming in that leadership role there is a morality clause. And for a lot of you, you have to know this. When you're signing them big contracts, when you're not generating the revenue yourself, they're going to put a morality clause in there to not pay you. The morality clause, if you go read them, they're so subjective based on what the board think if you're publicly traded or if you're in a media company. There's a lot of gray area to not have to pay you. Them deals sound good. 4 years, $260 million. Sounds great. And then you have one little fuck up or earnings miss or something, and they find a way to get you out of the company to not pay you while taking all of your IP. I get it in theory, but you have to be very careful of what you agree to. And the big issue I want to stress, like, if something is not going well, just state it and then leave, or tell them, hey, this is how I'm going to play the game. A lot of these issues with him and Shannon and Bill Belichick, that comes from not standing firm on how you're going to operate. You're selling one thing to the public and doing another thing in private. That's why, I know some people be like, yo, you act crazy. At least you get to see the real me and not the caricature of me. So when I pop up like Iceman Bezo or Bandman Kevo this summer, y'all can be like, yo, can you believe it? There's no resale value. I don't want to resell it. So y'all ain't asked nothing about no damn black companies on the stock market to invest in a year. Yo, what drip should I get for Dr. Dolce? Okay. Have fun. I'm playing with you. Have fun.
Let's show this clip. It's interesting. Parents.
No siblings have the same parents. No siblings have the same family. No siblings have the same childhood. Why not? There are a whole lot of reasons. Number one, there's the birth order. Parents don't relate to the first child the way they relate to the second child. Then there's gender differences. Parents don't relate to, I'm not talking about whether parents love the kids or not. I'm talking about what actually happens. The child doesn't experience the parents' love. The child experiences the way the parent shows up. So, number one. Number two, the parents' relationship might be in a different phase, one child and another. Then, the parents might be in a different economic situation. The parents' lives might be different. Then, each child will evoke a different response from the parent. Like with my 3 kids or your 3 kids, it's not that I loved or we loved any one of them more than the other, but we responded to them differently. And there's one more factor, which is children are born with different temperaments, which is they experience the world differently. So even if I could be the same parent to all my kids, which I couldn't be, they'd still have 3 different parents because they would experience me differently.
All right. So this guy has an interesting take that nobody's going to experience the same experience from their parents. No sibling, because of all the stuff that he just talked about. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very poignant conversation. And I agree. I can just even look at from when Xander was 2 years old, how I parented versus 6 versus now him being 10. I'm different in all 3 instances. More patient now, more understanding, firmer on rules, but kinder in approach. I think we all evolve. And that's true of any relationship. Like the dynamic in our relationship now, year 5 was different versus year 1 when I used to piss you off all the time. I want no fucking ads on Market Monday, nigga. I told you. I don't care what Rogan. I was right. Approach was wrong. Y'all want to play them CPM games? We give you $8 per CPM for what? I don't even like bubblegum. Approach, right? So approach is better. I think we all evolve, and I think we should all strive to be better. And then also too, the first time you have a child, you may not know what to do. You're learning on the fly. You can prep all you want to, but the dynamic of every child is going to be different. But what do you think about it?
I think that it's interesting. So, okay, I'm looking at this from 2 perspectives. I have siblings, so I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm also a parent. But I'm a parent of 1 child. So let's talk about the sibling thing first. For me, I'm the youngest of 3 children. So,
you got the preferential treatment.
Probably.
You and my brother, boy.
Probably. But you know, I never really. They always say like the first child is the hardest because that's an experiment, right? Yeah. As far as like you don't know about how to be a parent. So a lot of stuff that you're doing with your first child is just trial and error. You learn as you go
on the fly.
And the first child is difficult because they don't have a blueprint to follow. They're like pioneers in this world, and they're just figuring it out for themselves.
Yep.
Now, the second child, you would think traditionally that would be a better situation because the parents already is seasoned, right? The parent's seasoned, and the second child has a blueprint to follow. So they have advantages both ways. But there's some disadvantages because you're always compared to the first child, right? And that's just human nature. Like you have a comparison of like set standard that what I did for this child's behavior, whatever. And if that child is different in any sort, it can lead to the comparison thing, right? Of you getting compared to your big brother, your big sister.
Yep.
And then if you have another child, you create 2 new dynamics. You create the middle child dynamic, which is a child that's in the middle, which that's a dynamic that's interesting. But then you're also creating the youngest child dynamic, where now you have you've done this 2 times. Now you have a 3rd time, right? And that 3rd time is going to be probably tremendously different because you've probably either been softened or you've been hardened. For sure. You either got soft or you got more stern.
That's a great point. I never thought about the more stern part as time goes on.
Because let's say you was a soft parent at first and they went off the rails. Now I'm not making this mistake again.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be a militant parent.
Or you're gonna be I was a stern parent and I realized I went too far. I'm gonna give this child a lot more flexibility, a lot more leeway. So that's interesting. You know, for me, I don't know the experiences that my siblings had. I'm not sure.
Joe asked him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things, right? Everybody internalizes things differently, so
True.
you never know somebody's experiences, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting for sure. But like for me as a parent, I have one child.
Same.
So, but like you said, even you know, I think I've been pretty consistent with my son. Honestly, I don't think I've changed too much, even though my life has changed, like financially, notoriety, all of that has changed for sure. But I've been pretty consistent as far as my parenting style.
Okay.
Which is pretty relaxed.
Are you more stern or relaxed?
I'm a very relaxed parent.
But you think you can be stoic or no? Because we both get that. I'm
a stoic person for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
But I'm just saying my parenting style, I'm not a strict parent. I'm not a authoritarian.
Yeah, that's not the right way to go.
I'm not a disciplinarian. That's more his mother.
Okay.
She's more of those aspects. But for me,
you choose not to discipline, or like okay, if he messes up, like what do you do to course correct?
No, I have a conversation with him for sure.
Okay.
And I could even have a stern, but I don't know. I just never really had, like, I've never hit him.
Gotcha.
Like when I was young, I got spanked.
Yeah, I was getting belted ass when I was
I got hit as a kid. Mm-hmm. I've never hit my son ever.
That's good.
I don't remember yelling at him, like as far as like really, like I don't think I've ever like had like a real yell. Like I might have a conversation and but I don't think I've ever yelled at him.
Yeah.
And I've never hit him before.
Yeah.
Cause not necessarily because that's just a plan that I had. That's just kind of how it just kind of played out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and you gotta learn to hit him where it hurt. Like once I learned taking away that PlayStation for 3 months, hurt Xander, I don't need to do nothing else. Hey, my boy, wrap it up. My friends want to play. Sorry. Think the decision that you made that one day over Christmas break got your PlayStation taken for 3 months. Is it worth it? No. Okay, great.
Man, and I think even for me growing up, I got hit and stuff like that. That didn't help me. I learned I was intelligent enough to know, like, if I did something bad, that I made a mistake.
Yep.
And that was enough for me to realize that. And so that's what my thing with him. Like if he gets suspended, if he gets into a fight, I have a conversation with him. But
steer him right. Yep.
I'm not gonna hit him and curse him out because ultimately I'm not always gonna be there to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like he has to internalize for himself that he made a mistake, that it wasn't the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Then he has to internalize how he's going to move forward from that situation.
Have you ever had to step in and be like, well, I'm taking this away. You can't play ball. You can't go out with your friends.
That his mom does that.
Gotcha.
His mom does that. So, gotcha. Yeah. So I guess, yeah.
Get caught back out.
Yeah.
Blackout after dark. Good cop, bad cop conversation.
Well, there's no blueprint to being a parent. That's the thing. I don't think there's no right. Nobody has the answers on how.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because even if somebody's a perfect parent, you could look at them and say like, all right, this was harmful. This is problematic. Sure. This is going to cause trauma in 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Just shout out to all the parents, especially if you have multiple kids. Oh my God! Shout parents, and don't you, if your real name is in the chat, don't do it. But parents, do you have a favorite child? Yes or no? For those you have multiple,
you definitely have favorite children.
Most people won't say that though.
Even if you have nieces and nephews, you're going to be drawn to one person more than the other. Grandchildren, that's human nature. You're going to have somebody that you like more than the other person. Doesn't mean that you don't like the other person.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean that the other person is less valuable in life, but you have more commonality.
Yeah.
you have a closer bond
Yeah.
to this person. That's human nature.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I have been
Stop.
told
Screen.
this. I'm not
Go to the
100%
corner.
sure.
I got you on the 3.
Not 100% sure, but
Skip.
I was
Outlet.
I was definitely one of my grandmother's favorites for sure.
Got you.
And I think that my mother spoiled all of us, but I think my mother did even more spoiling with me. But I think that's mainly because I was the youngest child. I think my dad was pretty much consistent with everybody.
Okay.
But I think that my mother might have provided an extra layer for me. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So
Well,
but
yeah.
do you see yourself having favorites? Like you only have one child now, but
Only have one child.
let's say hypothetically you have another child. Would you see that that's something that could potentially happen?
I don't know. I haven't walked that yet. So if I have another child, I'll tell you. I'll be honest, like, yep, just the favorite. But I know a lot of parents that I love them in different ways, but I haven't experienced it, so I don't know. I'm not caveman. I really just don't know.
You have family though, like extended family,
cousins.
Do you have closer relationships with some than others?
Oh, for sure.
I'm talking about like kids, little kids.
Oh yeah.
Is that because you think you have favorites?
It's just a
family dynamic.
Yeah, affinity. Yeah. That plays a lot. But I love all my cousins. Love all my relatives. I mean the world to me. I wouldn't be me without you.
Very politically correct. Nah, yeah, for sure. But no, it's all love though. It's all love. But I think I just thought that was interesting because it's true. I think it's definitely true. Nobody has the same parents. Even twins, they say.
Different experiences.
Yep. Even twins can have different experiences. The same parents, same household. You were born on the same day, but your experiences, and that goes to even, you ever see some siblings and you be like, damn, why is this person completely different from this person?
For sure. Like polar opposites.
And they grew up in the same house, they had the same, but it's like you don't know the experience that person had.
Yeah.
That person's experience might have been completely person's life experience, but even at home, that person's experience, how they understood life, how they like, even though you think would be similar, they have nothing in common at all.
No. Yeah. One person comes to mind. Like he's like corporate, by the book, honorable person. His sibling, warrior, like street warrior. 2 years apart, completely different personalities. Completely different. So environment has a fact, the time spent too. So yeah. Do you guys put in chat, do you think there's a blueprint or framework to parenting, or everything is to be figured out on the fly?
I think there is a framework for sure.
For sure.
But I just think that it's not something where it's like, okay, you do this X, Y, and Z exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's end game adjustments.
For sure.
And I think people think that their way is the only way. That's the problem too. That's human nature. Where it's like, okay, you're not strict with your kid, or you're not doing this with your kid, you're not a good parent. That's not true. That might be because you think that, but that's your parenting skills, right?
Yeah.
Like my parenting skills might be completely different. My parenting philosophy
may be dramatically different. And then culturally, like I'm starting to study more Eastern philosophy. The way the Eastern part of the world does things is dramatic. Like the West does everything almost backwards. Time with family. Like if you look at the normal American life, you drop your kid off of school, you go to work, you then come home, you have a little time to have family time, play, work, eat, go to sleep. So most of the time, your kids are with other people or entities that shapes the way your child sees the world. In the East, some places is dramatically different. There's more time, and there isn't much of a rush in comparison. And I think other cultures have a better approach on how family dynamics should go. Even like let's say taking our situation, like if we're dating, I don't particularly want to hear that we can't vacation when I want to based on somebody else's schedule, but that's a Western thing to control all of your time, to control how you feel about the country and government. It's easy to get you to vote one way if you only have 3 free hours to think. But if you get from 12 to 5 to think about how the nation is being run, it may be some unrest. Shout out to Essence Mac. I think Essence talked about it. But a lot of Black women are feeling freer going to Mexico. That's a small portion, which in 7 to 8 years can be a very big population. Every time I go to Mexico, especially I go where I normally go, it's a lot more of us there now. It used to be few and far between. Now it's starting to look like Atlanta. Have to be mindful. So I think a lot of philosophy on how we do things culturally as well has a big impact on it. So
yeah, for sure. But yeah, put in chat, what do you think? But for me personally, I just never I never saw the value in yelling at kids or being too hard on kids.
Yeah.
Because I feel I'm definitely blessed because my son is not a problematic
knucklehead. Yeah, he's a good kid.
He never
makes it easier.
Everybody does things, but he's never unless up until this point, knock on wood, he hasn't done anything where it's been drastic. He hasn't done anything drastic where I'm like, I gotta
check you. Yep.
I gotta really put you in your place. So that's been very fortunate that he hasn't, he's not that type of person. But I don't know. I just feel like having children fearful, because that's what it does. When you scream at them, you incite fear. It's fearful thing, and I don't think that that's the best way to go about it.
No, it's not good. They're more fearful in life. They're more introverted as a result. A lot of trauma. So you think you have more
children?
Yeah.
Potentially, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what cards I'm dealt.
If the government keep adjusting these numbers, though, boy, they went from 180 to 350 in a few years. That's crazy.
That's, like I said, that's not even the real cost. If you really want to be technical about it.
Yeah. Yeah. The extra tax we're going to talk about. Blackout After Dark.
That's a fact.
Don't send me no invoice for nothing. Please.
The invoice play. So what's your email play?
I don't have no email. I'm gonna do like Kanye used to do. I don't have no email or phone.
Talk to my assistant.
For real. Claude.
All right. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. What we gonna get in trouble for this week? But the Blackout After Dark conversation,
Blackout After Dark is crazy. That's like NC-17 for adults. That's the combo that you gotta have a secret password to get into.
For sure. The men are gonna be upset about what this week?
What are the men gonna be upset about? I don't think we gave them a reason to be upset.
They're gonna be upset about that men is a prize thing, though.
Men?
Hey, to my guy, don't clip that up. Don't put that on my page.
Please, respectfully.
Remove from profile.
Yeah, I got something like before they put any blackout clips on the page, I gotta approve them first.
Yes,
because I can't. That's the last thing I need is
more headaches.
I thought this was financial literacy. What are you guys?
Y'all not literate. Y'all spend all your money with Mike and Mary. If you're an up and coming white fashion designer, can I please sign you so I can siphon money from our community into your pockets that will go back to me?
That's a fact. And all of these topics are direct relationships with finances. When you either when you on your come up or you got money, all this stuff, relationship, parenting, having to pick the right partner. That's the part of money that nobody explains to you. That's why so many people make mistakes. But the number one thing that's going to drive you from your wealth is bad relationships.
Yep. If we just take Shannon Sharp, the trial going on, Kohl's, that's damn near $1 billion in value lost over bad relationship and picking the wrong person.
That's a fact. So there is a level of finance education tied
For
to these
sure.
conversations.
For sure.
Well, let us know who you want to see and who you want us to talk to. And Blackout pop up at InvestFest last year. InvestFest Legendary. We had Shannon
Lit.
Sharp. Who
Lit.
would have knew? Who would have knew? A year later.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's tough.
You
Legendary
never know.
conversation.
Absolutely. And that was probably one of his best interviews.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was very good, actually. All right. Okay. All right.
All right, my brother.
I'm
Vale,
good.
I'm gonna go to Vale again. So Vale, XL, send it to his PO box. White. Prefer. If I can get number 23 on mine, that'd be great. Cool. 2 of them. Cool. Please. Appreciate it.
The Jordan year.
Yeah, for sure. 97 was a good year. 96. Can I vote to a man big being a top 5 rapper because he technically has 3 albums? I'm tired. I'm a Tupac, Lassane Crooks diehard fan. I am tired of the big slander though. This is starting to grind my gears.
Big legendary.
But him not being top 5, top 10 because he only have 2. He got 3 albums. He was smoking Tupac on that disc too. Boy, I was mad.
That because you're not top 5 doesn't make you a legend. 5 people is only a short amount. That's a small sample size.
You can only name one. Who better than
Big?
Come on, man. We're not putting on nobody in this new era. And we definitely not putting Throat Goat in top 5 no more. I don't want to hear that shit about how creative it was.
Kanye? No. We can't count. It gotta be like it's like BC and AD. It's like Kanye is like before Ye.
No, ain't no before.
Ye. It's BY and AY. That's the new thing. BY and AY. When you talk about Kanye West's career, you gotta do BY, which is before Ye, college dropout, graduation, late registration, and then it's after Ye.
I really think somebody drug Kanye.
I mean, the boy's out of his mind, man.
I really think somebody drug Kanye.
Pray for Kanye. But that still doesn't take away his legacy, though.
Mm-hmm. Troy said before Donda and after Donda. But if he wasn't doing a majority of the beats and majority of the raps, like, but I think somebody drugged Kanye and altered him. I ain't gonna say who, but
pray for Kanye. Pray for Kanye.
Pray for Kanye.
All right, guys. It's been real.
Yep.
See you guys tomorrow.
G Perico.
Get your tickets. G Perico. Tomorrow, shout out to West Side, South Central, Cali love.
Adam fell off and y'all just said, okay, cleanup time, LA crew. Oh man, poor Adam 22. What can you do?
What can you do?
What's the dumb money purchase you gonna do this summer? Oh, if you go get that Dawn with the boat on the road, same time, like, you know what I mean?
To be determined.
Hey,
to be determined.
I hate to see that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real.